I'm not going to tell you his identity, so let's just pick an arbitrary, completely unbiased name. Let's call him, Idiot. So Idiot here really enjoys the 3.5 rule set for D&D. All jokes aside, we've actually had a lot of in-depth conversations about which edition is better and why. And we're on the same page. In general, 3.5 is better at being more realistic and accurate with their rule set, while 5th edition plays more towards storytelling. One of the conversations I had with him was about environmental hazards. 3.5, as I understand it, has several entire books based on environmental hazards, while 5th edition has like a small blurb at the top of a page in the DMG. And I admit, 5th edition could have done environmental hazards way better than how they have it right now. My fix for this is not switching over to 3.5 and learning a whole new rule set like my friend wants me to do. Instead, I throw Mephits at my players. Mephits are small, elemental humanoids. There are 6 types of Mephits, each one being a combination of 2 of the 4 elements. All Mephits are considered evil. They're all intelligent enough to know 2 languages, and they have several other things on their stat block in common. They all have the ability to fly, they all have a claw attack, they all have some sort of breath weapon, and they all have death throws, which means they explode when they die. They also have some other attribute which makes each Mephit unique from its 5 other companions. I primarily use Mephits as environmental hazards or as minions in combat. When I use the Mud Mephit, it's typically in a swamp, where there is difficult terrain and potential of contracting diseases. I use steam Mephits in geysers or mist-filled forests, which means that the area will be heavily obscured. As for magma Mephits, it's pretty self-explanatory where those would be found. Ice Mephits, also pretty straightforward. I've used dust Mephits mostly in deserts, but the monster manual also suggests that they are found in tombs as well. And smoke Mephits are usually found where there is also smoke. So a recently ruined village or a recently burned down forest. Like I said earlier, I enjoy using these guys as minions and hazards. When I use them as hazards, it typically ends up being like a chase. So these Mephits are chasing players through difficult terrain or whatever environment they might be found in. And at random, I'll have a Mephit use a breath weapon. And when a player finally kills one, they'll explode, do some damage, or whatever their death throws might be. In combat, you've heard me say it many times on this channel, minions. Reduce their hit points down to 1 so that you don't have to keep track of 12 different creatures' hit points, and so that the players feel satisfied when everything dies just from 1 hit. Now, before you go using these in your campaigns, I'd like to draw your attention to the Magma Mephit. Using Magma Mephits, spellcasters can easily overpower anything that you throw at them. Magma Mephits have an ability to cast Heat Metal once per day. This is a 2nd level spell, much higher than most of the other Mephits' abilities, and in my opinion, one of the most broken spells in D&D, because it does 2d8 damage with no saving throw. So, with Conjure Elementals, you pull up, 8 of these, or however many the spell allows, you cast 8 heat metals, that times 2 is 16d8 with no saving throw. This is why I changed this stat block a little bit. I changed Heat Metal to a spell that's a little bit more in line with its challenge rating, like Scorching Ray or Searing Smite. I don't want to use Burning Hands because that feels a lot like the breath weapon that it already has. The other way I balance the Magma Mephits is to play them like they're supposed to be. Of all the Mephits, they are the least intelligent. You should play them that way. They run into danger with no sense of self-preservation, or they just laze around and don't recognize when they're being attacked. However you balance Magma Mephits, however you decide to use Mephits in your game, let me know how, and remember, everything will be okay.